Okay, so iPhone 16 released last month in September, the successor to iPhone 15. I'm not gonna go much. I'm just gonna say like some basic specs that were available, like a 16.1 OLED display, which is very good, a 2556 by 1179 resolution display, 60 hertz, 10 nits brightness. I don't think people care. HDR brightness. I got a bunch of specs, but maybe some people care about like 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor, for 2.4 aperture. Also 12 megapixel front facing camera with 2.2 aperture, night mode and cinematic mode. Like very impressive specs. Like even like 8 gigabyte RAM and A18 Bionic chip. Excuse me. Different storage sizes like 128 gigabyte, 256 gigabyte, 512 gigabytes, and dual support, QI wireless, iOS 17, and also all the apps like together like Apple Pay, Wallet Maps, and Music TV Plus. You get the whole joint with Face ID, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 6, and so forth. And of course, like every year, new iPhones, more powerful specs, more hype, more popularity, more expensive, which is going to be like more than $1,000 plus, like $1,099, or to put it more plainly, $1,099 if you want to say it that way. So you can read the specs, and it sounds impressive. If that's the right value, okay, good, fine, you know. And of course, there's a 16 Pro Max with a slightly bigger screen, also with like Pro Motion technology, which is like for smoother scrolling and larger battery. And of course, like all the iPhones have different colors, same RAM, but with a 48 megapixel main camera and so forth. So it's what you expecting, even with the price tag close to $1,400. And yet, it shouldn't shock me that more people went out shopping around the world, whether it's in San Francisco or even in Dubai. I remember seeing videos of like huge crowds in Dubai malls, like going crazy for the iPhone 16. So it's not exactly surprising there. Okay, the second part of the tech announcement I wanted to talk about: Sony having a video presentation on the PlayStation 5 Pro. And you think someone like me, who's a Sony PlayStation fan, would be excited or impressed? I listen, the tech may sound good, but I'm not exactly hyped for it. It's not just simply because, yes, I don't have a PS5 and I don't hate the console. I'm just not excited about the idea of owning a PS5 right now. But also because, I mean, it's huge. I'm really glad, if anything, the launch design with 825 gigabytes. I didn't like that. There's a replacement that I like with a 1 terabyte storage, but still, it doesn't really change my mind with a $500 plus price tag. And now, even with the PS5 Pro costing $700, and that's without a vertical stand and no disk drive. And look, I get it. The points, as Mark Cerny, the architect, said, you know, with a custom-driven AI upscaling technology, PSSR, or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. Yeah. Advanced ray tracing, because the whole point of this new generation, not just more native 4K gaming, but ray tracing as well. And an upgraded GPU with a 28% faster memory and 60% more powerful graphics. And yes, there's a 2 terabyte SSD. There's still 4K resolution. Even some games will give 8K resolution options. So it's good for anyone that wants 8K TVs, faster loading, which is great. And it's still compatible with the same accessories, with the same games. But I mean, like, you know, when you consider the price with the tax included, like even like 800 euros, which is crazy, 700 pounds, and even like almost 120,000 yen, which includes tax. That is crazy. I'm sorry. I mean, I need to see more of a demonstration. Yes, I know there are some YouTube videos of like comparisons with some games. Speaking of games, they're going to take advantage of the extra power. I'm going to talk about them. I am curious about like older games from the PS4 era, how they do. I want to see higher frame rates of those games like Bloodborne and The Last Guardian and maybe two of those Just Cause games and Mad Max. Just a few examples I know I can think of. There are a lot of games that's still stuck at 30 frames. If they can go up to 60 frames, I think that would be great. But just for some games that are confirmed to be upgraded, patched, compatible for taking advantage of the extra hardware, like, you know, Horizon Forbidden West, the Marvel Spider-Man 2 games, and the other Marvel Spider-Man games, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. Those are like first party exclusive titles. And even like the third party or the multi-plat, whatever you want to call it, like, Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Dragon's Dogma, Dragon Age Veilguard, Hogwarts Legacy with improved ray tracing, and the Resident Evil 4 remake. And I think Rise of the Ronin, one of them. Hopefully, I'm right about that. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That's good to see. And Stellar Blade. So, yeah, I mean, some of the confirmed games, like even I saw a demonstration of Alan Wake 2 using ray tracing. So I thought that was pretty good. That was actually pretty impressive. But still, it's not like enough for me to be like, oh, I should have this. Like, listen, I'm sorry, I didn't really care too much. I mean, look, for me, if I want, what, in my opinion, I think has been a good upgrade. I think if you're still somewhat stuck on the PS4 Slim console, right? And it's still a good console, but it's showing its age just a bit. Like some of the games, although most of the classic, well-known good games still do well, perform well, look good, it is clear that even the performance and resolution, some of the even good games that came out later on, still look a bit blurry and struggle with the frame rate. So I think the PS4 Pro console still good enough. If you can find it at a good condition, good bargain price, I think it's worth the bargain price as well. If anything, that has an advantage over the PS5 Pro. At least PS4 Pro comes with a disc drive, and it's a Blu-ray disc drive, not a 4K Blu-ray disc drive. Hence the reason why it's actually more affordable and much cheaper now. So that's why I think that console is a good investment, even though I can't play, obviously, not for the newer games. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it.